walkthrough. And first up in the morning, it was Grandview, and then in the afternoon, it was Kaiser. And we really got a chance to know the teams, the coaches, a little better than we already did because we saw them in their element here. And James, what was your impression when you saw that first team, the Grandview, yesterday morning?
Yeah, they showed up for their walkthroughs focused. They were here to do some business.
Yeah.
And they obviously won the game last year. It could be easy to show up and just kind of take it easy. And there was certainly a moment of reflection and pausing to appreciate the moment. But they are here to win this game. Make no mistake about it. And same with Kaiser, too. I mean, they showed up. They lost the game last year. They're out for revenge today, Vince.
I mean, it is amazing because these purely throughout the season, throughout now our poll, we vote in the media poll every week. So we had the teams kind of moving around a little bit. Grandview was my pick the whole season, all year, number one. But Kaiser moved around a little bit for me. I know for you guys also as well. But in the coaches poll, it was number one Grandview, number two Kaiser all season long. Both teams are undefeated. Matt, in your experience, and you're no stranger to cold weather, being from South Dakota. What type of conditions did Grandview have to go through to get to this point?
Yeah, basically what was a defensive slugfest in a 17-10 win down in Iowa there against Benedictine. Grandview had to gut one out, and two-time National Player of the Year Jackson Waring, obviously being the lead guy for that Grandview squad, but they struggled a little bit in that cold weather, and I obviously went both ways. Grandview ended up winning that one, but I'll tell you what, these Iowa boys will not admit it to you.
Yeah.
They are very grateful to not be playing in the snow today.
we were talking, James and I were talking to one of the guys from Grandview in the other room there before we started the show, and they said literally throughout last week's game, the officials had support staff from the teams shoveling snow off of the lines and keeping it clean throughout last week's game in Des Moines. I mean, it was a high of 7 degrees. It was crazy. Ooh. It was a flurry, and it was amazing. But Corey, being from Florida, Kaiser all season long, admittedly, we talked to one of their guys, and they said, admittedly, they haven't played in anything under 70 degrees all year.
Well, that's fair. But also, this is a bit of a leveling factor for them. You know, the Iowa boys might be a little bit better in the snow, but you get them out here in a neutral weather environment. There are a few wispy clouds up in the sky. I think this presents to be a good weather game for both teams. I think that means that you're going to get the best version of both teams.
Yeah. I can't wait. I mean, this is something we've been talking about this all season long. This is going to be a really historic matchup because not only did they play in this game last year, it was a different kind of game. It was a cold weather game in Durham, North Carolina. You were there last year, Corey. Anything in particular stood out about that game with these two teams?
Yeah, I mean, just a fantastic game last year. Grandview was in it from the beginning just to absolutely take it by storm. And I think that's probably the reason that you might see a little bit of a glint and a chip on the shoulder of the Kaiser guys today.
Yeah. James, when we watched Kaiser yesterday and especially with their return team, these guys have speed. And I mean, it was glaring. Like, what can you say about their speed?
Man, on the outside, watch for the receivers, man. There are literal track stars in the NAIA competing at the national level on this Kaiser team. Florida high school football is known for speed. That's like the one thing. You go to Florida to get some fast guys for your team at every level of collegiate football. And Kaiser has gotten some guys that they might have some 4.4 times. I'm being serious. Like, they might actually be that fast. Now, maybe I'm exact, but I promise you, they were doing some kick returns, and you cannot miss a tackle with these guys. Like, wow. if you were the last guy and you missed the tackle, it's going to be 6 for Kaiser every single time.
Wow. Matt, I got to ask you now, being in your part of the country, and how close have you gotten to see some of these opponents, these teams play, or teams that these guys have played?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with Grandview especially, a lot of those teams in the heart and in that region, very competitive football that they play, and it's very gritty. It reflects in how Grandview's made their brand the past few years. Really stout defense, offense that can chunk out big plays, but for the most part, they're controlling the ball, and they're moving it down the field steadily. Now, granted, with Jackson Waring, like, he can break one off at any moment, right? And it doesn't matter what level of competition it's at. Grandview, in recent history, has risen to the occasion more times than not. And I think we're going to see that today. I think they play up to these big games. And with the competition that they played throughout the year, they were actually tested a bit more than perhaps they were last year. You know, they had a close game against Peru State. That playoff game last week was probably too close for comfort for them. But I'll tell you what,
Wow.
those games certainly prepared them for this moment against a very physical and very impressive Kaiser team.
James, yesterday, Jackson Waring, the quarterback, we're going to hear his name a lot throughout the show today, throughout the game today. I'd imagine. He just got another prestigious award yesterday, which is ironically the same award as he got last year. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Jackson Waring voted NAIA Football Player of the Year yet again, back-to-back years. Last time it happened was Morningside's quarterback Joe Dolanchek, 2021, 2022, I believe. He has had he's just put together a complete season. I think that's why he earned that award. Through the air, on the ground, he is a threat. And you can't just stack the box and keep him from running. He will throw it 20, 30, 40 yards downfield. You can't just play back and just play safety because he will run for a first down every single time he breaks out of the pocket. So that the totality of his game, the team being undefeated. I mean, they haven't lost a game since 2023.
Wow.
So he was voted, and I know Corey Thorpe from NAIF Ball. He throws some question, a little shade, but overall, though, Jackson Waring is certainly deserving of NAIA Football Player of the Year back-to-back, and he'll be playing his final game in just a few moments.
So today is going to be a very unique show for us. Number one, we've got an incredible panel of talented journalists that are going to be reporting that have followed these teams throughout the year. So I am excited. We are in Fort Worth, Texas, a little bit out of my element, but not 100% because it is a little bit cooler than Phoenix. But at the same time, anytime you're outside of the studio, it is a little bit out of your element. We are going to feature segments and interviews with coaches and players from both teams throughout the field, throughout the show, as well as some live stuff. So you don't want to go anywhere. You're going to love today's show. I think you are. And it is not only that, it's our final show of the year. So enjoy it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the Varsity Sports Show today and every week. When we come back, we are going to be joined by the defensive coordinator from Kaiser, Coach Peter Davila. Don't go anywhere, guys. Here on the Varsity Sports Show, our incredible panel, Matt, myself, James, and Joey are going to be back after the break. Go Varsity. Awesome. Okay. Oh, okay. How's that? A little better? Check. Okay. Check. 1, 2. Check. 1, 2. Okay. Awesome.
Check.
All right. Let me raise this one. Check. Sound check. 1, 2. Sound check. 1, 2.
Man.
Sound check. 1, 2. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Framing purposes, but
Okay, now we'll be muted, right, Corey? Coming up. Okay, all right. So,
yeah.
Okay.
What was that?
Yeah, sorry.
What the?
Let me lower that down. Whether it's for your everyday or vintage car, commercial, or off-road vehicle or equipment. Sorry. See experts at 602-254-1116 and ask for the Varsity Special to get 10% off your purchase.
Oh, that's coming through.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm just messing with something here. Let's see.
Be sure to DM.
Hold on. Let's see if that's... No. Let's try that. There we go.
Arizona.
No. Let's go there.
I did check with the ref. He said gray stripe is inbounds for the end zone. Gray stripe is inbounds for the end zone.
Ooh. Guys, we are joined by the defensive coordinator for the Kaiser University Seahawks. His name is Peter Davila. Coach Davila, first of all, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show. So excited and so excited to hear from you.
Thank you, Vince. Appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on your show.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about the season. I've had a chance to speak with other coaches, other players about the fact that this is unprecedented for your team and doing this 4 years in appearing in the national championship game and winning one a couple years back.
Did you notice that most of Grandview is not even wearing a shirt for warm-ups?
Different about this year is just
It's too warm.
Our players,
It's just too hot.
Our focus to detail, our like we talked about, our growth mindset. This is relatively a completely new team from last year.
Yeah.
The program,
You want to be throwing north.
Championship the last 4 years in a row, but if you take a look at the roster, if you take a look at the guys that were actually on the field, there's new players on there, and it's a lot of players that have waited their turn. It's a lot of players that were hungry and came to Kaiser for this opportunity. That's probably one of the biggest differences from the 24 team to this year, the 25 team. And I think one thing that we're doing as a coaching staff is, we're not really talking about what happened in 24. In 24, we didn't get the job done. And in 25, we're looking to go get the job done.
Last week against College of Idaho, obviously faced a really good team and overcame some adversity to come out on top in the second half. How do you feel that lesson in adversity helped you in preparing for today?
Everything for us is a learning lesson, right? Even when things go bad, you have to learn from it. When things go good, you have to learn from it. I think what last week's game did for us was further prove the brotherhood and the commitment that these kids have to one another, to make sure that they're not going to let their brother down. We don't kind of balk at adversity. We understand it's going to come, and that game was supposed to be that way. It's a semifinal game. It wasn't supposed to be easy for either team. I think the one thing that we did is we just stayed the course, stayed playing one play at a time, and didn't look at the scoreboard. We just kept going. College of Idaho is a fantastic football program. What they did in the second quarter, I don't think it happened to us all year. But again, our guys were able to face that adversity, stay calm in the storm, and just continue to one play at a time and just keep swinging.
Joined on the line by defensive coordinator from Kaiser University, Peter Davila. Coach Davila, what's it going to take today to get over the hump? And you guys, you every day in practice, Corey, can you hear me? Obviously face a pretty good quarterback on your own squad. You're going to be facing another good.
You guys are back on air in 1 minute.
Okay. Can you hear me, Corey?
It's going to take 100.
I can, yes.
Okay.
Coaches down to the players to just go execute and do their job. It's not going to take anything other than that. We don't need any Superman performances on today. All we need is to go out there and do what we've been doing every day all year long. And as long as we communicate, stay together as one, and keep the game simple and understand that this game is coming down to blocking and tackling together as one. If we can do that as a unit, if we can, kind of pass some of that passion over to the offense and pass that over to the special teams, I like our chances.
Awesome. Peter Davila, defensive coordinator, Kaiser University Seahawks. Coach, good luck today. Congratulations on a great season.
And you're live.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona. An amazing conversation that we had with Coach Davila, the defensive coordinator at Kaiser, and really put into perspective by, letting us know, look, we're going to go out and play. And this is a different group. It's a new group from last year's championship game. They're playing at a high level, and we're approaching this game and are really excited about it. He didn't hide his excitement. I don't know. But, Joey, thoughts?
Okay, well, I didn't want to overstep anyone there. I like the way that he closed it out. He said, we don't have to have that Superman performance. We just have to go out and do what we've done. And if they do that, then they're going to find themselves in a good position. I think that's a good motto for anytime you make it this deep into the playoffs. How many changes are you really going to make? You have to go with what got you there, dance with the person that brought you. play your ball.
So, I had a chance to also visit with linebacker Eli Bertrand, a very, very, very dynamic young man. And God, he's their defensive leader, essentially. He's 5'8".
Yeah.
5'8".
It's an NAIA athlete right there for you.
There you go.
My goodness. But the thing is what I've heard about this guy is that he's a real gym rat. I mean, we saw him out on the field yesterday, very physical, James, during walkthrough.
Yeah, the Kaiser defense, a lot, and as Matt mentioned, sometimes NAI players, they are not tall enough to be, but they've got D1 talent. They got D1 instincts. They got D1 speed, but they don't have the height, or they've got the height. They don't have the speed. There's like maybe one element. And then there are some guys that have just the entire the entire arsenal. But I will say Kaiser, a lot of new players on defense, as Coach mentioned. But last week, they gave up 21 points in the second quarter to College of Idaho. Second half, they did not give up 21 points total. So they are able to make adjustments against these Midwest teams, these strong corn-fed boys. So I expect the Kaiser defense to show up today and slow down the Vikings more than they have experienced most of this season.
Now, you heard me refer to Joey. Joey wasn't introduced at the beginning of the show because he was doing a show himself. He's with Midwest Sportsnet. Joey is a very good friend of mine, Joey McWilliams. He is joining us. Corey had to step off. And Joey, you're out of the state of Oklahoma across the Red River. You said you were on the right side of the Red
proper
River,
side. That's
the
correct.
Proper side. So, it's a little bit of a
James is shaking that off, but that's
James,
okay.
The Texan here. But your thoughts on this matchup today?
When we've talked about it on the channel on West Sportsnet, which the YouTube channel that we have, and we're all about video in 2025.
Yeah,
and we're excited about that. But we've talked about these teams pretty much all season long. And you go back to last year because this is a rematch of 2024. But all year long. Grandview, what have they done? The win streak is now to 27 games. Kaiser, what have they done? The win streak is now to 12 consecutive games. So there's only so much you can say about them now. They just have to get out there on the field and play.
100% right. I mean, and in watching the speed of that defense yesterday, and they've got size. Now, outside of Eli Bertrand at 5'8", who's running all over the field as a linebacker, they've got a secondary of guys that are 6 feet tall. Yeah. I mean, we saw those guys out there and amazing. Matt, have you had a chance to assess, this Kaiser team defensively?
Yeah, they've been really impressive all season. You mentioned the length they have in the defensive backfield. It's super impressive to see how they match up against some of those higher powered teams down south there. I feel like they are going to be ready to go and face this Grandview offense that, can chunk out big plays. But I think matchup-wise, they're going to be able to shut down the pass game. Now, granted, it's going to definitely come down to if Kaiser can keep that consistent. But I think ultimately with the way they've played this season and the outlook of their entire DB room, they have the unit to be able to get it done. Super impressive stuff.
Had a chance, like I said, to chat with Eli Bertrand earlier in the week, and let's see what he had to say about his team. Take it away, Corey.
Cool.
Eli, first of all, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show, and you got to be excited about today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Really excited. Really happy.
You look back over the course of the season. Obviously, you guys coming off of playing in the national championship against this same Grandview University Vikings team, and going through the season, you were undefeated this year, battle tested. What do you feel like that's different this season over last?
We're just really hungry. The coach is really hopping on us, making sure we finish every play. Finishing through the drill, that practice, finishing through our tackles, communicating on the field more than we did last year, executing the little details, making sure we're in our gap sound, making sure we just dominate each quarter so, we can have a great performance.
You and I spoke offline briefly about this brotherhood of the guys on the defense that you play with. Talk a little bit about that. How close are you guys? I mean, is this a situation where you guys are
cover their guys that they need to. And it's just really my job and the other linebackers and D-line to stop that QB run and obviously the running back run game.
Corey, how much time are we going to have?
We can,
You're going to come back in about 30 seconds, and you'll have 2 minutes.
Okay.
We should be great and just make our tackles.
All right, Eli Bertrand, the one of the amazing defensive players, linebackers for this Kaiser University. We'll have a minute. He said a minute or two. For joining us today. Good luck, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, guys, welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS Arizona. Vince DeLisio, Matt Schwarzler, Joey McWilliams, and James Lex live from Crowley Stadium here in Fort Worth, Texas for the 70th annual NAIA Football National Championship game between the number 1 team in the country in Grandview, the Vikings out of Des Moines, Iowa, and the number 2 team in the country, Kaiser Seahawks out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Fort Lauderdale, really?
Yeah. Wow. Way down there. Way down.
Yeah, that's like
it's a little bit north of Miami.
They're West Palm Beach.
They're West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. That's like big spring break territory.
Yeah.
My gosh. You ever been down there for spring break?
Never.
I would love to do that. Oh, my gosh. I never get to go anywhere. Anyway.
Corpus Christi.
Yeah, Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. All right, guys, when we come back from the break, don't go anywhere. We've got more. We're going to hear from the defensive coordinator from Grandview, Tyler Martin. He's got a lot to say, and we do too. So we love this format. This is we're having a lot of fun. Are you having fun, Joey?
I'm having a blast.
Oh my gosh, we're
Maybe
having a great
you can't
time.
pry this smile off my face.
Yeah, well, because you're not with your wife right now. She's at home. No to do, no honeydews. All right, guys, when we come back from the break, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Go Varsity. She doesn't listen to the show. She's not listening. Okay.
She doesn't listen to the show. Oh.
All right. So that's 5 minutes with Tyler Martin. I don't know what's going on. Why there's that feedback. That sucks.
Gotta love tech, right?
Yeah.
I did have I was calling a softball game one time, this past spring, and new broadcast partner, and she and I were talking about something. I said something. She said, "Your wife's not going to be happy about that." And I looked over at her, and at the exact same time, we went, "She's not listening.
She's not."
She's not listening.
Yeah.
She does watch occasionally. She did watch some last night.
Did she?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, my wife will call me during the show, so that's how I know that she doesn't have a clue what I'm doing. Are you out of town? Yeah, I'm out of town. No, it's not that bad.
Kind of live on the air right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Still on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
I had to text her Thursday night on the air, and just because I knew that one of my kids needed to be picked up, and I didn't think she knew where the vehicle was.
From the Varsity Sports Show. We are proud to continue our 5-year relationship with the Saguaro SaberCats as their official broadcast team. Tune in throughout the year for live interviews and game broadcasts featuring the faculty, coaches, and athletes of Saguaro High School. Go Cats!
Hi everyone, I'm Joshua Ohep, the new field correspondent for Viva Varsity, the new Spanish broadcast of Varsity Sports Show. Here, we celebrate the passion of the game with you, share exclusive interviews with you, and live every play with you as well. Follow us on @VivaVarsity on Instagram to see our highlights, history, and what goes on the field, in and off the field. Thank you again. Look forward to having a good season with you. My name is Joshua Ohep. Thank you again.
Vince and friends cover all of your varsity and college sports needs on the Varsity Sports Show, live Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 a.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060.
All right, guys, we are joined by Grandview Vikings defensive coordinator who just wrapped up his 12th year with the program. His name is Tyler Martin. Coach Martin, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show, and congratulations on getting to this game after defending the title all season long.
Thank you. Really appreciate it, and it's been a fun ride so far with a great group of guys that were just as hungry this year as they were last year. So making it back to the place where you want to be with the target on your back all season long has been a fun struggle, I'll say.
And now you obviously you have a very, very good team on both sides of the ball and all three components for that matter. But your defense, while you had a couple of guys receiving All-American honors, it was mostly a pretty tight-knit unit. What can you say going through the season and talking about some of the strengths of your? Hey, Corey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I mean, we replaced a few guys off last year.
Yes, I can.
Due to
Hey, Corey.
And a couple guys transferred, but
hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Maybe not in the starting.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Hey, when we come back, we'll have about a minute before we transition to John Argo, right?
In our program, so it's really
yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So,
probably the thing that I've taken.
Do you want to give a quick 30 seconds on Grandview's defense? Awesome. Okay.
And how much
I know it's kind of screwy here with
out of the locker room, as much as are in the locker room, and the pieces that have been new have been bought in since the beginning of the year, and it's really showed.
Yeah. Going through some of your team stats. Now, these stats are compiled throughout the season as of, they were probably updated a week ago. And, allowing 12.5 points per game, 270 yards on the ground, total, 185 passing, 85 rushing. So obviously a strong rush defense. Some good numbers tackling. Any concerns on your pass defense going into this final game against Kaiser?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that concerns with our defense as much as I'm concerned about some of their players. They've got some dynamic guys on the outside that can stretch the field in all directions, and they've got a quarterback that's been doing it forever, it seems like now.
Let's talk about two guys that have been real leaders on your defense for the past few years now, but especially this season in defensive end Jackson Filer and linebacker John Argo. What can you tell us a little bit about each?
Yeah, I mean, again, both guys are good human beings, and that's kind of where it starts with it. But both of them are Iowa kids, which is kind of cool when you look at our roster up and down. It's a lot of guys from the state having success, and obviously Jackson had been at a couple different spots. Was at Iowa and Iowa Western, and but he's from Des Moines, so coming home to finish out his career here has been amazing for us. And then John being from Davenport as a four-year guy here for us, and he's been a starter for three of them. The experience that they have in big games and just their explosive playmaking ability really sets the tempo. We count on Jackson to be effective not only in the pass rush game, but he's so efficient.
All right, Vince, you're back on in 1 minute.
He's a really good hands that he's a handful for anybody.
All right.
On any down, which really helps John out standing behind those guys. And we asked John to do a whole lot as well. Being a veteran like he is, he has the ability to, slide the guys one way or the other, get us into the correct fits, make different calls based on formations that he sees. And then really it's awesome when he gets off the field and comes back to the sideline when the drive's over. He can relay that information that he just saw firsthand and help with where we need to go to get things fixed if things need to be fixed.
Grandview Vikings defensive coordinator Tyler Martin here on the Varsity Sports Show. Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS Arizona, Vince DeLisio and crew. Matt Schwarzler.
Yeah.
Schwarzler. Hey.
Right on the money.
Right on the
Good job. Yeah.
Matt, the SID at Dakota Wesleyan University. Matt, your thoughts on who's got to step up today and play big for Grandview's defense?
Yeah, I mean, immediately my attention goes to John Argo, a guy who's been leading that unit all season long, who is borderline a world beater, and he is the leader of a defense that is number 2 in SP Plus in the entire country. I mean, this has been Grandview's identity for the past few seasons now, and they're going to need their playmakers to make big plays. Obviously, stopping a guy like Shea Spencer, who has so much momentum behind him from last week, is going to be difficult, but these guys are definitely up to the challenge, and they have been pretty much all season. It's really impressive to see how they've kept this team in games, especially, you look at last week against Benedictine where the offense isn't churning quite like they need to. That defense stepped up big time, and I think they're going to be prepared to do the same today.
Well, John Argo and Jackson Filer could have a great game as well, a defensive end, and both were All-Americans this year and had a chance to visit with John Argo. Let's run that. Take it away, Corey. Joined by
all clear,
arguably the mainstay, the quarterback of the defense for the Grandview University Vikings. His name is John Argo, and it's going to be a little strange not being able to say that after this year because, gosh, he's been with them his entire career and been such a key part of the defense at Grandview and the success that they've had. But let's welcome him on. John, how you doing, sir?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me, Vince.
Awesome. I am great, and I am so excited to talk to you because we've heard from coaches with both teams, and I wanted to get your perspective as a player, but you're also a coach, more or less, of the defense there in being on the field. How can you summarize? And you guys are defending national champions. You're coming in not having lost a game in quite some time. How do you get up for these games week in and week out with the fact that you guys are so good already?
Yeah, I mean, it's a game of football. I mean, anything can happen on any play, on any day. As the number 1 team in the country, defending national champs, you're getting everyone's best shot. You're not getting, teams aren't going to lay down. They want a shot at the man, and to be the man, you got to beat the man. And we got to show up and give our best every day and continue to stack days. And I think thus far we've done a really good job of that, obviously getting us here to the national title, but still one left.
Knowing what you know out there and in terms of the schedule, that you played and you guys are coming off a huge semifinal win over Benedictine after having played them at the start of the season as well. In prepping for today's game against Kaiser, let's talk a little bit about Kaiser. Then I want to transition back to talking about your team. But what do you know about these guys, about this offense, and with the limited information you have and what you can expect today?
Yeah. Obviously, somewhat familiar opponent, a little different from last year, but somewhat the same in the fact of what they do on offense. And they also have the same quarterback. He's been there, I think this is at least his 4th or maybe even his 5th year there. And he's a really good player. He takes control of that offense, leads them. Can move, can throw. And then they got a lot of guys that can kind of make plays explode. They got some guys with some juice and some veterans up front and powerful offense. I'm not sure what they necessarily have in their defense because not really my thing to watch their defense. But I know their offense got some firepower, and we're looking to shut that down.
So I'm watching Grandview's defense today. And take John Argo out of the equation. Where are my eyes going to be drawn? Whose name am I going to be calling a lot, or what can I what can I count on as the strength of this defense?
I think that's probably pretty easy. I think you got to go with Jackson Filer, number 9, our defensive end. He's all those D linemen, they make my job, easier, but Jackson for sure, he's a bit of a problem up there for some of those O linemen. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, he's got a gas tank. And he's looking to make some of those quarterbacks pay if they're holding that ball for too long.
Awesome. You get through today.
All right, Vince, you're back on in 30 seconds.
Game, and we look at tomorrow and beyond. What's next for John Argo?
I'm actually graduating.
When we come back here, you're going to have a 2-minute transition.
So I'm done with school. I'm looking to continue to stay training. I want to keep some cleats on, keep lifting, see what's out there. Hopefully there's more ball in my future. But just going to keep down, put my head, go to work, and see what happens and lay it all out there.
All right, guys, welcome back. And John Argo, All-American, he wants to keep playing. He doesn't want to hang those cleats up, and so we'll see what happens. But first, he's got a game to play today, a big game to play today, a national championship game to play today. And joined by this amazing panel, Matt Schwarzler, Joey McWilliams, and James Lex. And when we come back from the break, we're going to hear more. We're going to talk to the offensive coordinator of this Grandview Viking team, get his thoughts on today's game. He's a former player. He's a former quarterback, a pretty darn good one that played for Grandview a few years back and now was the quarterback's coach and now came back and he's running the entire offense for this team. So we're excited to hear from Jordan Knock from Grandview when we come back after the break here on the Varsity Sports Show. Guys, don't go anywhere. Thanks again for tuning in here on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona and the 1060 app. Go Varsity. All right. Okay, so and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
Look for live updates and all the KDUS content you love on our socials. Just search KDUS AM 1060 on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok.
We are joined by the offensive coordinator for the Grandview Vikings. His name is Jordan Knock. And Coach Knock, who is, as many of you know, is also a graduate of the school, played the position, played quarterback, coaches the quarterbacks, calls the offense, and has really he'll deflect it, but he's been a big reason why this machine has continued to go at Grandview. So, Coach Knock, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be in this situation and get to talk about our program and our guys, and we're ready to go, compete and try to go win another one here. So,
Coach, it's interesting because some teams, some offensive coordinators, many of which have a certain niche, something that they go to, something that they're known for. They're either a run-heavy team, a pass-heavy team. You guys literally can slice your offense right down the middle in terms of the balance. I mean, you guys are about as balanced as you can get with your run and pass in terms of yardage per game. And I mean, it is just a well-oiled machine. How are you able to accomplish that with such balance?
We go into every game with things on the call sheet that obviously are going to, if we're running the ball well, we're going to continue to run the ball. If we're going to get into a bunch of passing situations and need to chuck it around, we've got that ability. And really that starts with, catering around our quarterback's abilities. And we've got a pretty special one there with Jackson Waring. So, his ability to throw the football down the field, stretch defenses, At the same time, run the ball, whether it's him handing the ball off and into the backfield with the group we've got. We continue with what's hot, and really that's what leads to the bounce. Coming off that semifinal game last week against Benedictine, like Jackson threw for 36 yards, and a touchdown, but we were able to run the ball effectively, and obviously the weather and things like that played a role. But when you're as balanced as we are and can do both, that's what leads to that, that success. So,
joined by Grandview Vikings offensive coordinator Jordan Knock. Coach Knock, okay, so talking about today's opponent, you guys seeded number 1 coming into this game. The Kaiser Seahawks number 2. What can you tell us about that defense that you're going to be facing today?
They're a well-coached team. There's a reason that they're making a 4th straight appearance, and they've done everything they need to do during the regular season to get back to this point, and we're excited to go back head to head with them again here. So, defensively, they're athletic, they're big, they're strong. They fly around and make a bunch of plays, and the biggest thing for us is we just got to continue to stress being mistake free. When we
back on in 1 minute, Vince,
it's hard to play teams like that. So but they do a really good job. They disguise some things coverage wise pretty well, and they're good tacklers. So they make those hard open field tackles that obviously we're used to seeing some of those go the other way. So excited for the challenge that our guys have ahead of us. I'm excited to go head to head with another great program here, and it's looking to be a pretty good day. So.
All right. That was Grandview Vikings offensive coordinator Jordan Knock here on the Varsity Sports Show, just minutes away from kicking off for Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Matt Schwarzler, Vince DeLisio, Joey McWilliams, and James Lex. Let's break down this Grandview offense. We had a chance to hear from the offensive coordinator, Jordan Knock. Let's specifically go into a little bit of detail. James, let's start with you. Talk a little bit about the passing game.
Yeah, the Grandview Vikings, obviously known for the run, but they can move the ball downfield through the air. Isaiah Toki is going to be their leading receiver, as much as a leading receiver is on this team, because Jackson Waring is very comfortable passing the ball around to 3-4 different guys. Jordan Coombe, Tristan Williams, Lance Clayberg, tight end. He's got an arm too, so you got to watch out. Isaiah Toki is an interesting guy because he has 600 receiving yards on the year, but you have to watch him play. He's one of those receivers. He's not the tallest. He's not the strongest. He may not even be the fastest. He might actually be, but he has this gut instinct to just get open, and Waring has the chemistry with him to find him, and that's going to be the matchup today. Can Grandview open up their rushing game by getting the ball to him? Can he find creases, get it through his route tree? Keep an eye on Isaiah Toki today.
I have to say, in my conversation with Coach Knock yesterday when we were here at Walkthrough, Grandview is expecting man coverage from Kaiser.
And if that's the case, then you expect Toki to be running all over the field and Waring to be looking for him. Last year, the longest pass in this game, it was a rematch, longest pass by Waring to a receiver was 22 yards. A lot of it was Kaiser keeping everything in front of them. If they can get a long breakaway with something 30, 40, 50 yards to start this game, huge momentum swing immediately for the Vikings.
Joey, you wanted to talk a little bit about the running game of this Grandview team. Tell us what you know.
Well, I wanted to then follow up what you said right then. If Grandview is expecting man coverage throughout, and they send those receivers and the gentleman that James was just talking about right there, I think it really means that they respect what Jackson Waring and this running game can do. If they're going to try to just go man coverage, they're going to try to stack the box, they're going to try to keep things clogged up in the middle, then they respect what Waring did to them last year, which, by the way, Jackson Waring torched them for 203 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
But it's not just Jackson Waring. It's also Dalton Van Pelt. Now, Van Pelt has more than 800 yards rushing this season. But I think the thing about his play is the fact that his yards have come at some of the most crucial times over the course of the season. I mean, he was instrumental in the win last week in the inclement weather, the 17-win victory. But I want to go back to a couple of those games in which Grandview found themselves trailing twice this year in back-to-back games, trailing by 14 points. They found a way to come back. Dalton Van Pelt picked up some crucial yards in each of those wins to get the victory there. I think that if they're going to run that coverage, they're saying they respect what Grandview can do on the ground, and they're not going to let themselves get beaten that way again.
Matt, your thoughts on the quarterback? We got plenty of time. Where do you want to start?
It's hard to even know where to start with this guy, Jackson Waring, right? I mean, 2-time National Player of the Year, won it this year, won it last year. And like you mentioned, some of the weapons that he has around him, guys like Isaiah Toki, guys like Van Pelt. The theme of this team is that they rise to the occasion. You know, last year you look at guys like Isaiah Toki, who caught 2 touchdowns in the championship game, had almost 150 receiving in their semifinal game. And that's all off the back of the leadership of Jackson Waring. He's able to deliver the ball where it needs to go. And teams are respecting his running ability more this year, but he's still been extremely efficient. You know, he's put up 6 rushing touchdowns, 39 through the air, over 2,400 passing yards on the season. Just all well-rounded efficiency from Waring. And granted, you know, he's not putting out the stat sheet, you know, numbers that pop out at you like you might have last year, but it's efficiency. It's efficiency, being able to get the ball where it needs to go. And Waring has the complete trust of this team. You see how this offense operates. It's all through him. They trust him with the ball, the ability to deliver it through the air, on the ground. This is a tightly knit unit, and Jackson Waring is the core of all of it. He's been absolutely fantastic this year. And like I said, these guys rise to the occasion. Jackson Waring is the prime example of that. You mentioned it, Joey, in the championship game last year, over 200 yards on the ground. I mean, he hasn't put up 200 yards this season during the regular season or in the playoffs, but this could be a game today where, you know, they let loose a little bit. And it'll be interesting to see, you know, how does Kaiser game plan for a guy as dynamic as Jackson Waring? But also, what does Grandview do offensively and schematically to open him up a little bit? Maybe put him in situations that they didn't see last year in the championship game.
Let me throw some numbers out at you guys, and you guys know these numbers already, but 40 points per game, okay, that they average, that Grandview averages, 422 yards per game. This is the stat that I really love right here. 217 rushing yards, 204 passing yards per game. They are literally, you can slice a knife right down the middle in terms of their stats. I mean, some teams have tendencies where they favor pass over run. These guys are right down the middle with everything. You know, in terms of scoring in the red zone, 81%. I mean, this is unprecedented in terms of what type of a complete team this is. Now, I have to ask this next question. Since you focused on talking about the quarterback, Jackson Waring, what's next for him?
Yeah, honestly, it'd be really interesting to see. Off the top of my head, I'm not necessarily sure what he's got planned. But I'll tell you
he's
what.
got a national championship plan.
Well, he certainly. Okay, so he certainly has a national championship game.
To-do list.
But I mean, he's got good size. He's got good ability. This is a guy that could, you know, sneak a camp invite, maybe sneak a, you know, pro day invite somewhere.
Yeah.
Certainly a guy that has that ability. And frankly, we were talking about him doing it last year. And the fact that he came back and put up more impressive numbers, is now a 2-time National Player of the Year. This is a guy you could, you know, maybe see on Sundays.
You know who he reminds me of? Steve Young.
Really?
It's a good comparison.
I
like that.
I mean, there was talk at one time when Steve was a backup quarterback for the Niners that they were going to put him in the backfield and have him run the football because he was just such an effective runner. Jackson Waring is that type of guy. Will this guy be a quarterback in the NFL?
See, that's the question, and not everyone wants to, you know, relinquish that role on the team to be able to make it to the next level. But I think Waring could play in any of a number of positions.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He's an athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
definitely a different kind of guy because he's so selfless. Even knowing that he had this Player of the Year award locked up, he just kind of shrugged it off. I mean, it literally he wasn't doing it for us, for the media, for the fans, in being selfless with it. He truly is that way, and he is very spiritual. Joey, you had a chance to talk to him as well. What were your impressions there?
Oh, very solid. I mean, top to bottom, he's somebody that, well, if you want to talk about that aspect of what he's doing, that he is very, very, he's excited about his journey in Christianity and what his change in life and what salvation means to him, especially as a college student that midway through his college career said, you know what, I was going the wrong direction. I've made a change in my life. I'm going the right direction now, and I'd like for a lot of you to come along with me.
Now, here's the other thing, and maybe some of our listeners may not have been aware of this, but he hasn't been at Grandview his entire career. He started off at Illinois State, had a couple of stellar seasons, good seasons, early on, and then there was one season that he did not step on the field. Matt, do you know anything about that?
Off the top of my head, not necessarily, but I'll tell you what, the fact that Grandview was able to pick him up was big for not just this program, but Jackson's path as well. You mentioned spiritually, Joey, just the way that he kind of had to grow up a little bit. And I think transitioning to Grandview and, life sometimes can punch you in the mouth like that. And I think he was ready to respond, and respond he has.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to our next guest. We've had a lot of fun this morning, and our next guest we are going to be bringing on that is very well connected to one of these teams historically, and it's a guy that I worked for many years back. My first college coaching job when I graduated from Arizona State, I moved to Iowa, so I kind of gave it away there. But spent a season out there, and then the minute the first snow hit after Halloween, I was gone. It was a cloud of dust. I jumped in the truck and I drove back. It was a cloud of powder because it was snowing, and I drove back. Guys, when we come back from the break, don't go anywhere. We are going to be joined by a very special guest, a good friend of mine, and a longtime coach and athletic director. Don't go anywhere here on the Varsity Sports Show for hour number 2. I want to thank our panel. Stick around. Appreciate all your expertise. We'll be back in just a minute. Go Varsity. All right.
Gentlemen.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, of course.
All right, man.
God bless you, sir.
Thanks, Matt.
Best of luck the rest of the way, fellas.
Yes, sir. Doug, your last name is Gann?
Gann. Yep.
All
Gann.
right. Okay. All right. So our next guest is going to be he'll be live. Kevin Twait is his name. Coach Twait was the head football coach at Iowa Central Community College for many years. I worked for him years back in the 90s when he was at Buena Vista College, now Buena Vista University in Storm Lake, Iowa. But his connection is that he coached and employed a lot of the guys on Grandview staff. So cool. Yeah, it's a real coaching tree from him, and we'll have him. Yes, yeah, okay.
Dang it.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, this might be a challenge because it's feeding in from the radio station, James, that our live stream audience may have trouble hearing him because I don't want that echo.
They'll get what they get.
Yeah.
We're here.
But we'll have them up until we're done, with him, 11:10, 11:12, whatever, 11:13.
Yeah.
All right. Kevin was a big REO Speedwagon fan, so we're going to close his segment with that. He'll sing along. Watch. Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, hour number 2. AM 1060 KDUS Arizona and the AM 1060 app. My name is Vince Delicio. We are live from Fort Worth, Texas, and the 70th annual NAIA Football National Championship game featuring the Grandview Vikings out of Des Moines, Iowa, and the Kaiser Seahawks out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Fort Lauderdale, did we say Fort Lauderdale or West Palm Beach? I keep getting that wrong. West Palm Beach. I'm thinking of spring break. That's why I keep saying Fort Lauderdale. Anyway, we are joined by our panel today. James Lex from Champion Sports Network, Joey McWilliams from Midwest Sports Net, and Doug Gann from Louisiana Christian University.
Right.
Did I get that right?
You do. We cover them on our
446.
channel. 446 Sports covers LCU football as well as a number of other things. But, yeah, they're one of our flagship teams.
Okay, and welcome to the program. And joining us on the line, an old friend of mine, a guy I work for. He gave me my first college coaching opportunity in Storm Lake, Iowa, in 1994, Division III. Buena Vista College. Now they are Buena Vista University. His name is Kevin Twait. Coach Twait, how are you, sir? Well, Coach, before you do, we got you joining us here, and we're so excited that you are joining us this morning because you got a little bit of history with at least one of these teams, I think. Coach, when I saw Andy Jepson, he came right up to me, gave me a big old hug, and he called me Coach. And I said, no, Vince, no. That was a long time ago. And I coached with your dad, Mike Jepson. And I just can't believe this coaching tree and these guys and how just this fraternity, how they're so connected. Coach, I wanted to introduce you. One of my co-hosts today, a panelist from Midwest Sports Net. His name is Joey McWilliams. He had a question for you. Go ahead, Joey.
Well, Coach, you were talking about, finding the strengths and the best, getting the most that you can out of the team. when you're talking about all of those players in particular, or excuse me, those coaches in particular, as a head coach, do you look and take that same route with your assistants and with your staff, trying to get the most out of them as well?
Coach, tell me a little bit about E.J. Peterson. You know, it's his first year. They go undefeated. His first year as the head coach, and just a really, really quiet guy. I went right up to him. I was expecting, you know, hey, I'm Coach Peterson. He's like, hey, call me E.J. What can you tell us about him? Another member of our panel here, Doug Gann, out of 446 Sports and Louisiana Christian University. Doug, you had a question for Coach.
I did, Coach, and it's kind of twofold. One, just a reflection maybe on the pride that you have seeing guys that have played for you and coached with you being successful. But two, do you spot something in someone like EJ and go, this guy's going to be really good as a coach?
James Lex from Champion Sports Network had a question for you, Coach. And by the way, again, remind everyone we have Coach Kevin Twait, who is the former athletic director, Iowa Central Community College, as well as the head football coach for a time, very successful. And go ahead, take it away, James.
Yeah, Coach. Hey, what did you see in Vince DeLisio to bring him in? Like, I'm trying to figure out what all that skill set. You said I got to have him on my team.
It hindered him. Coach, you remember the knee brace story. Oh, my gosh, that is hilarious. We're going back more than 30 years. Coach, I have to tell you, we had a lot of fun, and it was an interesting season in '94. It was my first foray into going into the snow like that. But I was telling the guys, the minute the first snow hit, I got the heck out of there. Oh, goodness. Coach, I got to tell you, when I talked to EJ the other day, I said, did you know that Kevin Twait was a big REO Speedwagon fan? He told me, he said, I don't remember that, but one thing I do remember is that Coach always took time to sing us happy birthday, and that's what we do today. So I was amazed. Coach, we're going to end this thing with your all-time favorite band here, and we're an REO Speedwagon. I want to thank you so much for joining us. We've had a great time, and I am so excited about this game. I'm out here in Fort Worth for the national championship, and running into these guys, it's like it is just so nostalgic for me. The only person that's missing here today is you. So, Coach Kevin Twait, thank you so much for joining us today. I look forward to circling back with you, and we'll definitely catch up soon. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. We're coming back live. All right, guys, welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince DeLisio, adapt and overcome. So we are back, and we are back live with our amazing panel. I want to go around and spend a little bit of time getting to know each of you guys, talking a little bit about each of you guys. And let's go right to left. We went left to right last time. James Lex, tell us a little bit about Champion Sports Network.
Yeah, Champion Sports Network, we're trying to reimagine small college sports media and providing coverage to all the teams, all the schools, and just make it so easy to follow these teams. So we developed something called scores.championsports.network, the website, and you can go there. You can see the scores from today's game and all other games in the NAIA, basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball, anything all together. The rankings for all the teams, if you're curious what the current coaches poll or the media poll that we do here with Champion, with Joey Williams at Midwest Sportsnet, Varsity Sports Show, obviously Vince, we all contributed to the poll. You can view that on the site. It's just a way to follow. So we're really working to make it so much more fun and easy to follow these teams that work so hard and they play the game the right way.
Awesome. Take it away, Corey. All right, welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS Arizona, Vince DeLisio, joined by the panel. We got Doug Gann from 446 Sports out of Louisiana. We got Joey McWilliams, Midwest Sports Net. We had James Lex out of Champion Sports Network. Matt Schwarzler was here. He's the SID at Dakota Wesleyan University. Corey Thorpe from NAIA Ball was here as well. What a show. Jam-packed and a lot of fun, a lot of commentary, a lot of different opinions, but a lot of similarities as well. Doug, we were speaking offline a little bit about some of the work that you're doing and coming in. I want to get to know you a little better and a little bit more on your background, and we're going to do that here in just a few moments. But the first thing I wanted to do was go to an interview with the quarterback out of Kaiser, Shea Spencer. Corey, if we have that queued up, let's run it here real quick. Okay, so this will go. So we'll have, let me ask Corey. Hey, Corey, how much time are we going to have after this? Okay. All right.
Talking Shea. Talk about Shea Spencer.
Yeah. So the next segment, Miles Russ was just under 6 minutes, and then we'll have 6 minutes of time to chat about Kaiser's offense, if we want to do that, and their defense, a little bit of both. And then the last segment will be E.J. Peterson, and then we'll close out and get my dad on the phone.
It's getting here quick.
Yeah.
And can't get anything done without those guys, and they do a great job every single week, every single day, putting in preparation for today, for the game. So we're ready to roll. And I mean, on the defensive side, man, they fly around, dude. They fire me up just watching them. So I mean, they got guys everywhere, and Eli, Bertrand, Tyler Logo. I mean, Malik Kraz, Marlon Shad. Like, dude, I can go all day.
We'll have 2 minutes.
Yeah. We got ball players everywhere. We just have to execute and do our job and trust our brothers, and I think we'll be happy with the result.
What do you feel it's going to take today to put you guys over the top?
I think, like I said, just play our game. We have a good game plan, and we just need to execute and trust each other and just do our job. We talk about doing our 1/11th, and we talk about just being gritty and controlling our effort and control the things that we can control. And I think if we do that, we'll be, like I said, happy.
And you're live.
All right, we are back here at Fort Worth, Texas, site of the 70th annual NAIA Football National Championship. The number 1 team in the country in Grandview out of Des Moines, Iowa, and the number 2 team in the country, Kaiser, out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Guys, in our panel, James Lex. James, your impression so far? We've had some pretty good commentary. These guys coming on, Shea Spencer, quarterback from Kaiser, a little bit of confidence coming in.
Yeah, you could tell they have been here before. Like, just the way they carry themselves, the way they're on the sidelines, the way they're talking to you in these interviews. you could tell they're comfortable. A lot of the guys, they're at the first, maybe second time in the championship game, and they're just not sure what to make of it. There's just so much going on, and these guys, they're talking about their teammates, they're talking about their coaches, they're talking about what it means. Like, they just get it, and that's one of the things you see at the NAIA. You see really developed, humble, but just locker room leaders at the quarterback's position. Shea Spencer is no different.
Well, and Shea's journey is an interesting one in that this is like his 7th year. He took a year. He reduced his course load 1 year, and it just happened to be the year that Kaiser won the national championship.
Well, he injured his he got injured in championship game, and he wanted to play again. So he reduced the workload, took the year off. That of course was the year they won the whole thing. So he did not get a ring from that year, even though he was technically at the school because he wasn't again to get for eligibility and whatnot. So he's ready to get his first ring today.
Yeah, interesting. So, Doug, being from that part of the country and Kaiser, these guys are coming in with a little bit of a chip and something to prove here. You know, they don't like being referred to as the number 2 team in the country.
No, absolutely not. And I'm looking at them line up and warm up, and they're running with an extra spring in their step, that speed from Florida and the athleticism that you see down there. But I'm going to tell you what I heard in Shea's voice was that excitement. When he talked about everybody else, the question that was asked him, what do you think? What do you have to do? He says, I just have to get everybody involved in it, the big 3. The linemen, he lit up talking about the defense. He says, man, he gets inspired watching that. If you don't get fired up off of that, you can tell he knows it's been 6 or 7 years that he's been battling. He knows he doesn't have a ring. He knows this is it. He goes out, and, man, I'm excited to watch it.
Amazing. I am looking forward when we come back after the break of hearing from the head coach from Kaiser University, Miles Russ. Had a bit of a health scare a couple of weeks ago. The team banded together, got a win last week after being down a little bit of adversity over College of Idaho in that semifinal game. But he is excited in the coach, but he's still not 100% himself. So looking forward to hearing from Coach Russ. Don't go anywhere, guys, here on the Varsity Sports Show. We'll be right back after the break. Quick selfie. Yeah,
absolutely.
Ooh, my short arms here. Jump in here, James.
Yeah, wait. Look,
hang on. James is coming. James is coming.
But look, he can probably get it. Look, there you go.
All right, 1, 2, 3. There we go.
Thank you, sir. I want you to send that one you took too.
Absolutely. That's the problem with me and selfies. It gets about this far.
That's it.
Is all that it does.
That was awesome. Thank you, Joey.
What a privilege.
Oh,
I mean that. I can't even say.
I am.
Oh.
All right. You stick around?
Yeah. No,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
If you want, I'm here.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
I'm going to get down on the field once it gets going.
Yes, sir.
And just get footage. This is such a great spot to watch it from up here.
Oh my gosh.
Phenomenal. But if you would reach out to or send me your contact
I will.
info there to that, because
I will. Got
we're
your
going
card
to do
right
this 52 weeks a year from here on. It's interesting for us because LCU plays football in the SAC and the Red River Athletic Conference and everything else. So I get a couple of conferences out of it.
Yeah.
Firsthand knowledge, but they're only good in football. They're terrible in everything. Is that on y'all's, or what is that going on?
Yes, that's on all of our social media.
Okay.
So yeah,
go with the YouTube,
you go back and I'll share it. I'll get it. We've got, I think probably YouTube is our biggest medium right now.
Okay.
But we've got Facebook. It depends on who's watching at that point. Parents and grandparents are on Facebook. The kids and the viewers are on YouTube, and then we added our Roku channel this year, which has taken off, and it's been neat to be able to just put it up on the TV.
Excellent.
For the Kaiser University Seahawks. His name is Miles Russ. And I guess when people ask him, Coach, when people ask you what your plans are for the holidays, the last 4 years you've been telling people, look, I'm busy. I got a game. And it's no different this year. Welcome to the program. How does it feel?
it's such a blessing. To kind of piggyback on that, my 7-year-old daughter, only thing she remembers is going to national championship games. I was laughing with my wife the other day. We have her and my baby girl that's 1.5 years, and that's all she knows. She was talking. She's been talking about Texas the whole year. So I would have been in trouble if we didn't get it done, and I would be in bigger trouble if we don't get it done. In the championship game, because I had to hear it for a whole year this past year that Daddy lost in the championship game.
Oh boy.
So we're gonna no, it's been such a blessing, and we don't take it for granted. It's so tough to be in this position. I tell everybody, you make it look easy, but it's it's so much that we have put in and sacrifices, not even just for the coaches, but the players, the administration. So it's not a coincidence, but we have worked so hard. So it's been such a blessing to be back in this position, and we're going to try to work, and hopefully we can get it done today.
Coach, this is clearly unprecedented, and you've done this 4 straight years, and you won one a couple of years back, and now you're in position after an undefeated season, regular season, and basically running through the playoffs here, and had a real challenging one last week, overcame some adversity against College of Idaho, and now you see yourself in this position. What's different about this year?
Oh, we just been focusing on ourselves. I think the physicality, the attention to details, all those things that we already focused on, but even had a heightened focus on with it, especially after the national championship game. It really, Grandview did such a great job of, the schematics and the physicality that they brought to the game, the national championship game. And, I put a mirror on us. I really, it started with myself of what I could have done better as a head coach, and then we talked about as coaches what we could do better, and then we worked with the players, and that's what it's about. You think you might have it figured out, and then Grandview punches you in the mouth, and you're not able to get it done, and now you got to go back to the drawing board to see how we can get it done and prepare ourselves. So I'm so excited to again be back in this position. I'm so excited to play Grandview, because that's I want to try to beat the best, and they are the best in NAIA right now, and it's just a great opportunity for our program.
Defensively, you've got what is a group of stellar athletes, top to bottom, that have literally littered the all-conference team. Their play. What can you say about them as a unit, your defense?
Oh, man, it starts with Coach Davila, our defensive coordinator. And I just love, again, our physicality, but running to the football. And I think that's so important. On both sides of the ball, we're very strategic of who we want at the line of scrimmage position. And I think those guys do a good job of, we always want to stop the run and run the football. And I think that's how you win a national championship. And that's where we start at the defensive side of the ball. And then it allows the guys at the back end to be able to make some plays. Sometimes they're by themselves. We do a lot of different things defensively, but it always starts up front. And I think that's one thing that, again, I put a mirror to ourselves. We were able to get that done last year. And it showed, and we really focused on that starting in January, right after that national championship game. So it's just focusing on those guys, and it's a whole team effort on the defensive side of the ball. But the guys make plays, and I'm just so happy that these guys are able to execute the game plan, and we have to do that today.
Joined by Kaiser University football head coach Miles Russ. Coach Russ, final question for you. What's it going to take today to overcome the number 1 seed here in Grandview and to get the win?
Yeah, just be ourselves. Nothing more, nothing less. We've been preparing for this moment.
You guys are back on in 1 minute.
Since the past national championship game, and it just being ourselves, everything that we've been doing, we have to execute those things. From our first game to our last game, I'm so happy and proud of how we have grown as a team. But I'm excited of how we handle the adversity when it hits. I told those guys last week it was coming, and it did, and I just love how those guys can be the calm in the storm and be able to figure things out. And that's what it's about. How are you going to respond with it when adversity hits? And adversity is going to hit at a certain point today. And I'm just so excited to see how our guys respond and execute. And
and your
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona and the AM 1060 app. If you're outside of the state of Arizona, which we anticipate a few listeners are, considering the teams that we are talking about today are playing for the national championship in Fort Worth, Texas, and one team being from Des Moines, Iowa in Grandview, the number 1 seed, and the other team from West Palm Beach, Florida in Kaiser. Joined here in our final half hour with Doug Gann from 446 Sports out of Louisiana and James Lex from here in the Dallas area from Champion Sports Network. Gentlemen, so we heard from Coach Miles Russ of Kaiser. He had a little bit of a health scare a couple of weeks ago. Had to sit a game out. Has been kind of eager to jump back into it. But as we were talking to one of the staff yesterday, he's been relinquishing a lot of responsibilities to his staff anyway. So it wasn't like a lot of things changed when he stepped away because his staff was already very heavily involved in the operations and the day-to-day. So how important at a time like that do you feel that, a head coach should take a step back?
Look, I think it was good for him and certainly his family. But what was so great is listening to his post-game press conference after it was over with, the game that he came back a week ago, and you could tell that he wanted to be back and he was fired up to be back. And I think it's a big emotional lift. They're all on the same page. You heard Spencer say it.
Yeah.
You heard Coach Russ say it. We've just got to go out there and be ourselves. And it's important that they're all on the same page, that he's back. And, man, what a great story it is to have them getting back here for him.
It was interesting, and we had a chance also yesterday not only to visit with Coach Russ during the walkthrough, and we heard from him just a minute ago, but we also spoke to the defensive coordinator, Pete Davila, very lockstep with the mission of this team. It's a new team, even though they played in the championship last year, a lot of new faces, some familiar faces as well, such as the quarterback, Shea Spencer, who's been around for years and is playing his final game. James, your thoughts on the preparation of the team today?
Yeah, this team's been through some adversity. I mean, obviously they are they got 12 undefeated, 12-0, but they've had to go through. They had a game that had to get forfeited. The team had to leave in the middle of the game, and for right now in college football, players are transferring in like a lot. We know all about the transfer portal. He has a lot of new guys. He's comfortable with that. He's comfortable with his guys. He's comfortable with the formations. He's comfortable with his playbook. And we talked to him a little bit yesterday. He has no reservations about the how new his defense is, specifically about Davila, right? He's on defensive coordinator. 11 guys. I think only 2 are returning on the starting 11, and he goes, yeah, that's not even a problem. He's ready, and of course, with the way last year's game ended, new faces, they don't have any memory of last year's game. They're just going to come in here into Fort Worth and they're going to go, you know what? Why not us? Why not go and win this game?
Well, and he's got and Coach Russ being a former running backs coach for this team as well, he's got a big back, 1,100 yards rushing in Jaden Miller. How prevalent do you think the running game for Kaiser against this Grandview defense is going to be, Doug?
So, look, Miller is somebody that they've got to get going. Spencer's talked about the big 3, without a doubt. But Miller is somebody that allows him to open up the passing game as well. Remember, too, that Spencer's the 3rd leading rusher on this team. So they're going to come at it. They're able to come. It's just Grandview's defense. They've got a lot of weapons to stop. 35-7 last year. They did it. This is this year's team, completely different. I just think that getting Miller going early so they don't have to rely on Shea Spencer is the key.
I can't wait. I'm chomping at the bit. I mean, we've spent all week prepping for these two teams to face each other. Obviously, they've been prepping all year for this matchup. They were talking about this fans have been talking about this since last year's championship game. And, and weather played a factor in Durham, North Carolina. It was extremely cold. That's not going to be the issue today, although the wind may be an issue. We see those flags moving like crazy out there. The wind's, what about 15, 16 miles an hour right now? So
at least 15 going up to 30. So again, we think it's going to affect special teams, but I don't think it'll affect the passing too much. I think they're going to have the green light to just get downfield, get the ball moving.
Guys, don't go anywhere. When we come back from the break, we are going to be joined by E.J. Peterson, the head football coach for the Grandview University Vikings here on the Varsity Sports Show. Been a great show so far. Doug, Vince, and James will be right back. Go Varsity.
Awesome.
All right. Okay. All right.
Dave Rooster Beerstein, weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
Hey listeners, it's Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show. We are proud to continue our 5-year relationship with the Saguaro SaberCats as their official broadcast team. Tune in throughout the year for live interviews and game broadcasts featuring the faculty, coaches, and athletes of Saguaro High School. Go Cats! The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
It gets a little crazy with the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein. Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
All right, guys, I am joined by the head coach for the Grandview Vikings. His name is E.J. Peterson. Coach, let's a little bit about your season. And I've had a chance to visit with both your coordinators, and both very knowledgeable guys, obviously, and both masters of deflection. They put it all on the players. But I want to talk to you about, obviously, you're managing it from a different standpoint. You're looking at the whole operation there, and you're not even 15 years off from being a player yourself, so you're still a fairly young guy. How have you been able to maintain such a high level of success, especially after coming off of a championship last year?
Yeah, and I'm hopefully going to do kind of the same thing that T. Mart and Coach Knock did. We've got great people involved in this football program, and I think it stems back to even when the football program was started, when Coach Mike started up, and then Coach Joe took it over after him. I mean, they built a program around having the right kind of people involved, people that love football, that aren't afraid to work, that love being a part of a team. And I think that's really, been what we've tried to carry on this year, and Coach Knock stepping into his coordinator role has done a fantastic job. I mean, it was and he got to learn from a really good one last year with Coach Fulton, and Coach T. Mart stepping into the D coordinator role, and I've got some experience with kind of being in his shoes, where you have a head football coach that leans a little bit more from a defensive or towards the defensive side of things, and that has its own challenges. So, and he's done an unbelievable job kind of transitioning into that role.
Well, and let's talk a little bit more about some of the personalities on this team, in particular, starting with your quarterback, Jackson Waring. Everybody's All-American. He was a first-teamer. He was Player of the Year last year, and has just done everything that's been asked of him. What has he meant to this team?
I can't even go into it. everybody sees the on the field things that Jackson is able to do, and they probably know a little bit about who he is off of it, but I don't even know if that really scratches the surface. The guy is just a dude. He's been in our leadership council the last 2 years. He's very involved in the community. He is just anything that is asked of him. He is more than willing and rises above those expectations, and it doesn't matter to him. He's unbelievable. He is he's like having another football coach out there on the field.
And now, you being a defensive guy, let's go to the other side of the ball. And while there's 11 that are out there, 2 of them really have stood out throughout this year and through their careers. And defensive end Jackson Filer and linebacker John Argo. Talk a little bit about those guys.
Yeah, Jackson Filer is everybody talks about how his ability to rush the passer, but he is every bit as disruptive in the run game. I have been extremely proud of how Jackson has come along this year and just his consistency, play in and play out. And obviously he still has huge impactful plays and shows up in those areas week in and week out. But just the consistency of just how he practices and from rep to rep throughout the game, he is kind of stepped into this kind of quiet leadership type of role, and really brought along some of those younger defensive linemen that we've relied on this year. As far as John Argo goes, the kid just loves football. He is always watching film. He's a gym rat. He loves practicing. He's just kind of embodies what it means to play linebacker. He's very football smart. He's a great communicator on the field, and he's pretty physical at the point of attack.
And you're back live in 1 minute.
You know what you're bringing to the game today, and defending national champions, number 1 seed. But you look across the field, you got the number 2 seed in just a couple of years off of their own national championship in the Kaiser Seahawks. What do you expect as you look across the field from Kaiser?
Yeah, really good football program. This is going to be their 4th national championship in a row that they've been a part of, and in a program that really isn't that old. I think it's their 6th or 7th football season, and they've got a football coach and Coach Russ that he's lost 1 game in the time that he's been at the head spot. So they're a well-coached football team. They've got good football players, and they've had a lot of success. And so, yeah, we know that it's going to be a hard fight.
And you're live.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060. KDUS Arizona. Vince DeLisio live from Fort Worth, Texas, and the 70th annual NAIA Football National Championship with the number 1 seed Grandview Vikings out of Des Moines, Iowa, hosting, they're the number 1 seed, so even though we are in Fort Worth, playing against Kaiser, the Seahawks out of West Palm Beach, Florida, the number 2 seed. What a morning, what a show. We've had a chance to hear from both head coaches, numerous players, other coaches on staff, and of course finishing it off with Coach E.J. Peterson in his first season, but prior to that was a defensive coordinator, played at the school. There's a lot of history with he and his staff in this program, even though this program is less than 20 years old. It is just success upon success upon success. This guy is 13-0 and expecting to win this game today, although if Kaiser has anything to do with it, that may not be the case. So we'll see what happens. Doug?
Yourself, you talk about setting the bar high for yourself. He certainly did it. There's no room except, this is the pinnacle he's had this year, has been so successful for it. What do you do to follow this up?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. James, what do you do to follow it up?
Well, I think the key is to get out on the field and start playing. And they've done so much this year preparation, winning every single game on their schedule through the adversity for both teams that they've gone through, weather, health. They're finally only a few moments away from taking the field, where kickoff is almost here in Fort Worth, Vince.
I first of all, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, where can we find Doug Gann, 446 Sports? Where can we find you?
Look, we're all over, just like you guys, all over social media, Facebook. YouTube is where we hang our hats at. They can go to youtube.com, 446 Sports. Just hop on there and subscribe to it. But Facebook, X, anywhere that there's social media, Instagram, you can find us there. The name comes out of Ephesians chapter 4, verse 4 through 6. Anywhere you want to, and just search 446 Sports, and you'll find us.
James, what about you? Champion Sports Network.
Yeah, go to championsports.network. You can find our YouTube channel at Champion Sports Network there on YouTube. We'll be covering the national championship here in Fort Worth all day long. Every quarter break, we'll be giving you a little recap of where we're at and where we think this game is going to go. But X and YouTube.
In our final few minutes, I owe somebody a phone call. I also owe a big thank you to Sean Johnson, who is the tight ends coach here at Grandview. He's an old teammate of mine from Scottsdale Community College many years ago, and was a real asset in organizing a lot of what we did today. So, Sean, thank you so much. And thanks for being an artichoke teammate. So that was our mascot, the artichokes. Don't you love that, Doug?
That's so great.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to make a special phone call here to somebody. Let me try this out with our software. See how this works. It's a special day. It's a special birthday today for somebody. So you guys are in for a real treat here. Let's see if we can.
The beauty of your show is being able to do your thing, man. So go get it.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get him on here. And okay.
It's just awkward if we get red phones.
All right, Corey, you got the music all ready here? Here we go. Okay. Let's see.
Oh, he's got to answer. He got him.
Please leave your message for 48041.
Oh,
no.
Live broadcast.
No, that's the worst sound ever.
Let me try him again. Okay, let's see. Let's try it again. I got to get this guy on. I promised him it's a big day.
He says, "Look, I'm getting ready to watch the game. Quit calling me."
I know.
Here we go. One more chance. Come on.
Hello.
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 Hi.
Pop. There he is.
Hey.
It's my dad. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. Okay.
Yeah. How's Corey? Turn that down just a little bit, would you? Just a tiny bit. There we go. Perfect. So how many candles are on your cake today?
You're pretty good.
How old are you?
90.
90
years old.
Holy smokes. 90 years old today. Wow.
Yeah, big 90.
It seemed like just yesterday you were 89.
That's it.
Yeah. And you're 90 now. Wow. How are you spending the day? What are you doing?
Estremamente benzina.
Okay. Well, and for people that don't understand Italian that are listening to our show.
We put the gas
Yeah,
on.
you're putting gas in the car right now. Okay, wonderful. All right. So Pasquale Delicio, happy birthday. My dad, age 90 today.
Thank you.
Yes. I am.
Thank you very much.
James.
Tanti auguri a te.
Okay, there you go. James Lex.
Grazie.
Yeah. And Doug.
Happy birthday. That's all I got.
That's all right.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Thanks, Pop. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That was my dad, Pasquale Delicio, 90 years old today. On what an amazing show. This is our final show of the year. Guys, we'll be back in mid-January. I forgot the date. I think January 17th. We're going to be back. Enjoy your holidays. Enjoy the game if you guys are tuning into the game. I want to thank all of our guests today. I want to thank our panel. I want to thank the Sports Information Director, Steve Wilson, for the NAIA and accommodating us and our crew. Thank you so much. And our producer back in Phoenix, Corey Walsh, everybody else that contributed to the success of our program. I'm just a small part of it, but everybody else, on behalf of James Lex, Doug Gann, from 446, James Lex from Champion Sports Network, Joey McWilliams, Corey Thorpe, Matt Schwarzler, everybody that had any part in our success. I appreciate the opportunity to bring this show to our amazing listeners and our show partners out there. Guys, we'll be back in January. Thanks again for tuning in to the Varsity Sports Show. My name is Vince D'Alicio. Have a great holiday season, everyone. Vince out. Thanks, Corey. All right. Awesome. Thank you, man. Entertaining.